like fable. I want to say it's one of Aesop's of essentially like a reed and a tree talking to each other, and the tree being like, "Yo, I'm hot shit. Look at my bark. Look how much nothing can happen to me." And the reed's like, "Yeah, man, you're right. I'm tiny." And then a storm happens, and the tree snaps, and the reed's like, "Wow, wild." Like, that's straight up basically the story, because the reed bends with it.
Yeah.
And so, to me, politically correct people are kind of like reeds. They'll bend with whatever storm they're dealing with, liberal or conservative. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Whereas, like, there's political incorrectness on both sides in the sense of, like, I feel like when you're taking the stance of, like, very definitively using someone's gender pronouns, you are being politically incorrect just to conservatives. Because their political stance, their correctness, is not using that pronoun, you know? It's like, I'm just politically incorrect to you.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. Like, and they'll argue that they are politically incorrect. What I think is politically correct is all relevant to what you think is politically correct, you know?
The only thing I know I'm very, like, politically incorrect on is dead naming people for at least things that happened in the past.
I don't understand some of the... I think the biggest issue that... Not that necessarily happens in the trans movement, because if you ask me, trans people they're a very small number of the population, so it's hard to argue there's a strong movement because people are trying to do like social justice for them more than anything. So first of all, it's hard to like talk about what the trans movement is without realizing that it's mostly led by like some trans people and a lot of non-trans people, you know?
Yeah, when I'll let them speak, and
yeah,
when I hear one of them speak, I'll take it into account.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, so I don't know how certain people feel about like certain things, but dead naming I do understand is like kind of taboo, right?
It also, I'm pretty sure it depends on the person, because
It's like if I became Christine and you called me Cole, I'd be like, Clifford, I'm gonna stab you.
yeah, but it's also
I like my
the
examples.
difference is like we know each other, so
Yeah.
it happens where like if you're like I'm no longer Cole, I'm now Nicolette. I'm like, all right, you're Nicolette now. And if I mess up and I refer to you as Cole, you wouldn't be like, oh, you hate my new identity. You'd be like, oh, he's used to calling me Cole. I'll let it slide this time.
But I think the biggest
Versus
issue to
like
be said,
someone actively being like, you're like, my name's Nicolette now, and I'm like, all right, Cole. You're like, no, it's Nicolette, all right. And Cole is short for Nicolette. You're now Cole again. At that point, it's like, oh, so you are a terrible person.
I also think there needs to be something to be said though of, without coming across wrong, there is something to be said about like the trans movement can be over dramatic. I'm just gonna put it out there.
That's everything.
Like I've just so many times where they're like they didn't use my pronouns. You know? Wide eyes, knife in hand.
It's the thing about it is that like just society in general is built on assumption, right?
Yeah.
So you try to do things to be nice. If I saw someone typical like feminine look in a dress, you know, they drop the purse they're holding, and I go, ma'am, you dropped your purse, and they're like, oh, I don't identify as ma'am. It's like, your purse is on the ground.
I think that's the best way to put it, is like, I think there's a difference between when it's like, yes sir, I can do that, and it's like, oh, I prefer this, versus like, yes sir, excuse me, you must call me ma'am, you know, it's like, just ask people things.
It,
most people don't want to be assholes, like, at all.
you know,
So,
gender's a construct, nothing's real, language is fluid. Also,
look,
I feel
here's the
like people
thing.
are also looking for an alternative. You know, if you're not gonna call people sir and ma'am, ladies and gentlemen, it's like you would have. There's the need to figure out a common way of addressing people. If you don't know, you don't want to offend, because it could be just as bad if I see someone typically like masculine. They drop
See,
their
this
wallet,
is
and I'm like, ugh, you dropped your wallet, good citizen. They're like, you can call me sir. It's like, I'm just making sure.
I think one solution would be just use y'all.
Y'all
Let
dropped
it
your
go.
wallet.
Yeah, work.
Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds until some newer thing beckons, and we
I still don't understand how this section works, and I really want to. Clifford, you've beaten the game, though. Can you give me any pointers on how to figure out this section?
Oh, you are the dot in the maze.
In this context, it's tempting to make friendly
Huh?
content.
In that one, you're the dot
Oh,
in the maze.
yeah.
Through it, but not
Yeah,
in.
that makes sense.
Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the land, filed in?
So what, you start, go, 1, 2, boom,
When
boom.
games were new, they
Keep
wanted a lot
1 open,
daunting, taunting you,
go over,
besetting,
go.
delaying you. Players played stoically. Now everyone's turned off by that. They want to burn through
Where
it
the
quickly.
fuck?
No,
I'm guessing you're avoiding grass.
Yeah, you're the dot, and it's showing you the path of a thing you'll have to do later. So it's not
Excuse
like
me?
that is the path of a one you'll have to trace out on a board.
Like a baby bird being fed
I don't remember
Is
which
that not the
board it is.
board over there?
Huh?
The board over here.
Where?
But on the off chance that you're playing this,
This one.
what I'm saying is, trash
Uh,
is
yeah,
disposable,
I
but
think
maybe
so.
it doesn't have to be a project.
Okay, let me see how this exits, and that will actually answer my last question.
It's underrated. An art is sweet, juicy food.
But on the topic of dead naming, a friend of
That's
mine
not how I feel about a challenge.
in
I only want the bit of
like I've known in elementary school,
it's liquor.
right, would always go by his middle name,
It
right,
feels
and that's
like
how he was introduced. So that's how we all knew him.
Designer and
Yeah.
user. You could have refused, but you
In
there was something in you that was hidden that chose to continue.
yeah, so I don't really see him until like high school again, and at that point he's going by his first name, his like actual name. But it's still to the point where if I would call him by his middle name, he wouldn't be like, oh, I don't go by that anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, that's still me. Still same person. Hello, Eddie.
Sorry.
Slurp, slurp, baby girl, I'm trying to get my dick wet.
Alright, we're not going to talk to Eddie anymore.
Or it's like in the same way that Roy will be called Hunter by his friends, and it's like that's his name.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember the first time that happened, everyone was like, who?
It's like, alright guys, my secret identity's out. Eddie, we're here being politically controversial, talking about how we hate trans people and their agenda, and we're systematically planning their
It means
eradication.
a lot to me that you
Wow.
Antifa.
endured this much.
You get it, Eddie. Good
Nah,
job.
we are the anti-Antifa.
Oh god, god. You know what? I was just on Reddit.
I'm the anti-Antifa.
I was just on Reddit, and anti-Antifa is just blowing up, and I'm like, okay.
I love the idea. I do think that'd be a funny sketch of some, like, a group of them sitting around, like how I just yelled it out.
It's like
Just like,
anti-Antifa.
we are anti-Antifa, and just one guy from the back, fascists!
And they're like, whoa, whoa, no, 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 we don't use that word. It's not
Not,
selling so well nowadays.
no, no, no. It doesn't work that way no more.
People don't look
Oh,
up
there
what
you go.
acronyms mean. We're anti.
We're anti.
There are people labeling themselves as that, and it's like,
Oh yeah, no, I remember solving this one because
Yeah.
the stairs come down. Yeah, like that's also just hysterical. It's like, look, I get you don't agree with them, but you do understand what their name is, right?
it's like, we're the anti-rapists. Well, we're the anti-rapists. You're the rapist? No, 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 no. What? We just
That's
don't
not
agree with you not allowing people to rape.
Rapist is a strong word, man.
We
That's
think
not
you're
what-
very violent in the way you prevent rape. It's like, excuse me?
I prefer the term football player.
Oh my god.
Clifford, please.
Clifford, you forget Cole's,
Professional swimmer.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
There we
let's
go.
go for swimmer.
there we go.
Cole was like, I played football, and I'll tell you, I committed 0 rapes.
I committed exactly 0 rapes.
Hopefully you're not recording this, Cliff.
I am.
Aha!
I've committed exactly 0. On the record.
I am with Antifa.
God damn it, Eddie.
Just gotta dirty up my record. There's nowhere else I can go lower. Well, there is, but I don't want to go there just yet.
This man is like, as soon as they find the hard drive, it's all over with. So I might as
So-
well, I might as well leave breadcrumbs behind.
They'll figure it out. Oh, Jesus. Where am I? Why is my cable underneath my leg?
That's a deep frustration. A real punch in the gut.
Right now, this is a 1v1. Optimus Walrus. I got no boost. What am I doing? Oh, they're giving me time. Like the little bitches they are. I got you, son. Or you got me, I don't know.
I might actually boot up Darkest Dungeon after this.
Don't.
You just really hate yourself, man.
But I know you're going ring here. Your hammer's no longer. Your jump is no stronger.
Like,
Your hunger will tell.
I wonder, Cliff.
It's like getting over it, Darkest
Are
Dungeon.
Are you okay? Do you need someone to talk to?
It's like, what's next? It's like, you know, guys, I'm
Are
gonna
you with
download League of
Antifa?
Legends.
Oh God.
Dude, that I'll step in. That's when I would say something honest.
It's like, yo, he's not alright.
Well, like that one would tell me something's up because it's like Clifford doesn't play League, man. He don't. And like you would be jumping on after all of us quit. So the worst time to jump on League, as a matter of fact.
It's like,
At
well,
least
going-
like before it was excusable. It's like, man, why are you playing League? A lot of
FOMO.
friends I have play it. Yeah, like a lot of friends. It's like, why are you playing League now? Don't know. Clifford, are you okay?
It's like,
Why don't you know?
It's like, why you playing League now? I'm gonna get Challenger. It's like, why?
Here's the thing, I would believe you, but I would still try and stop you. It's like, stop him. He can. That's the problem.
It's like he's going for Challenger. Something's wrong. It's like,
God.
what? I'm aiming to be at the next LCS. It's like, why? Because it's stupid and it doesn't. But it's like, he's gonna do it.
He's really gonna do it.
Speaking of which, Eddie, have you climbed the mountain?
No. I fell a few times, scraped a knee, and I just went back to mom.
How'd
She
you
said,
scrape a
"Amazon."
knee? You're in a pot!
don't question how I live my life and how things happen. Sometimes I don't even have the
Oh my
answer.
You could have said elbow. I would have believed that.
Still, like you don't know how things happen. Sometimes I don't know how things happen. It just
Imagine how
happens.
funny
Like
this game would be if this guy could fall out of the pod and just start ragdolling.
Clifford, I would just play the game for the snake at that point. Just let him launch off.
You see, he gets like stress on his hands. He lets
We
go
have
of the
the same
hammer.
taste, you and I. It's not ambition.
Eddie, you should ride the snake.
Ambition's opposite.
I'll ride the snake
Your admission to
Please
taste
don't.
defeat.
whenever I
You'll
get
feel
there.
bad if
Please
you
don't.
win,
And then
so
when I
put
ride the
snake
snake,
in
I'm
the
not
game.
gonna play for another like 10 months.
At least you know. Riding the snake
I mean, I
seems
must
like
be a fool.
riding the snake seems like a fun joke until you get all the way up here and you're like, hey man, that's 22 hours of playing.
Here's the biggest, like, I needed to, like, get rid of getting over it, because, Clifford, the honest thing is, minus the ending, if I beat that game twice, I will be, like, I'll become a speedrunner. I can almost guarantee it.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, because here's the problem. When I figured out those stairs, and when I got past certain points and figured out the trick and got quick at them, I was getting way too excited. I understood the joy of speedrunning, and I need to stay away from that liquid crack.
You're gonna fully start optimizing every game you play. Like,
Cole, have you read
Eddie, I don't need more stress on how to relax already, because I like stress through games trying to do everything already. I don't need another.
Only the top of his hammer.
What were you saying, Clifford?
have you
Your
read
hand
The
raised
Alchemist?
will not follow.
Yes, but not in a while.
Okay, you're the guy who is like,
Then this here is will.
hey, we've made enough money, you can go to Mecca. He's like, I'm not going. It's like, why? If I go, then I've done it. What next? I need to say I haven't been. So I can
God.
keep complaining, because he's like, what do I do after that? Do I fulfill my life? He's like, have I fulfilled my dreams? What do I do? Run a shop?
I'll shut up. But let me say,
So
I
what
just
happens once I've been to the promised land? I have to not go.
Yeah, like I have to avoid touching getting over getting over it again, because like if I beat it 2 times, the next thought will clearly be, well, why not just get the golden pot? And if I get the golden pot, what happens is by like run number 40, I'll be fast.
Oh,
And when I get fast, it'll be like, oh, why not get faster?
no, this is run number 41 for me. As you say that.
I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure Cliff's already hit 40.
Yeah, like
I'm
this is the
so
one right after 40.
I'm confident I'll gain the speed. 'Cause the other thing is, I'm willing to like watch the speed runs and learn the tricks where Clifford dicked around with it a little bit.
I already showed you one.